On today's show, we take a look at recent election updates.
We also talk with a longtime local entertainment DJ. All that and more coming up on Studio G.
Welcome back to Studio G, news made for the Rebel in You. I'm Jessica Corona.
And I'm Alan Barber. Election on days is only 2 weeks away. Here's some election updates from this past weekend.
The battleground to choose the next president is on the rise. Community organizers in Nevada are working tirelessly against the clock to bring as many people as they can to the polls. Briseida Castro from Plan Action Nevada told us why people should get out and vote.
And so it's so important to vote. We vote for our rights. We vote for things that are happening here in Las Vegas, locally, and in our state and in our nation. So it's important to vote, and not only that, but to tell our friends and family to go out and vote.
Nonetheless, people are feeling hopeless with Donald Trump running for a second term. Senior citizen of Nevada, Beatriz Baza, believes that President Trump is a big liar and a cheater that will make anything possible to keep the White House in his power.
Trump is a disgrace to our country. We don't want him, we're going to get rid of him. He didn't win in 2016, but he cheated. That's how he knows what to do. That's what he's going to do now if he wins. He's going to cheat. I was at a voting place in 2016, and they had a manager from one of the unions paying us $20 to vote for Trump.
But also the current political atmosphere in the nation is shaking people of all ages to go out and vote for the first time. This is the case of Beatriz's 82-year-old friend who finally decided to speak up by dropping his vote at the ballot box at East Las Vegas Community Center. Meanwhile, in Carson City, Nevada, Donald Trump accepted he wants more people to die of COVID-19 as he refuses to listen to the scientists, making the coronavirus pandemic a clear genocide.
If you vote for Biden, he will surrender your jobs to China. He will surrender your future to the virus. He's going to lock down. This guy wants to lock down. He'll listen to the scientists. If I listened totally to the scientists, we would right now have a country that would be in a massive depression. Instead of, we're like a rocket ship. Take a look at the numbers. And that's despite the fact that we have like 5 or 6 of these Democrats keeping their states closed because they're trying to hurt us.
CBS News reported last Sunday that Biden is leading Trump with 52% of the voters in Nevada over his rival at 46%.
Please vote November 3rd. Reporting for Studio G, Ramon Elizondo.
As of today, more than 27 million people have already voted in 45 states. Get your vote in early and beat the lines at the polls. And show off your I voted sticker on social media.
Speaking of early voting, over the weekend, Governor Steve Sisolak made his appearance right here in Las Vegas at the Boulevard Mall. To get people to the polling stations, you got to help decide to vote early or mail in your ballot. Sisolak encouraged the public by saying where to go. We ask you to be patient and take the time to exercise your right.
Can I go slower? President Trump also made an appearance in Nevada over the weekend. Of Las Vegas. Keep reading. There's nothing to read. There's nothing on there to read.
Who's on prompter? Who is everything okay?
Sunday morning, he was seen attending a service at the International Church of Las Vegas before making his way up north to Carson City for a rally. Trump is hopeful to win Nevada over by restoring the city's tourism and hospitality industry. The two presidential candidates are neck and neck in the elections polls, so be sure to get your vote and cast it.
My next guest today has been a veteran in the entertainment industry. He's been on KXNT, Jammin' 105.7, and 98.5 KLUC. He's met the soulful singers of the world, to the beautiful Stevie Wonder, the intensity of Keith Sweat, and of course, the purple one, the legendary Prince. On the air, he was known as Chris Tracy, but to me, he's my dear friend, Kevin Benford. What's up, Kevin? It's been quite a few.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but it's good to see you. Good to have you.
Hey, how you been lately?
I've been very good, very good. How you holding up?
And so you've been in entertainment for about 15 years, professionally, maybe even more.
Yeah, give or take, I'd say 20 to 15. I mean, started out when I was a kid. I want to say my first experience actually in entertainment was I was actually on a news broadcast in Cleveland, Ohio, where I grew up, called Kids World 8. So I was an anchor for about a year and a half. You know, went back to school, finished that up, and then always loved music, always loved entertainment, always wanted to be a part of it. Moved out to Las Vegas, got involved in radio, and that's just where things just started kicking off.
Being on the radio and maybe just having that knack of talking, did you ever have any like off-record moments with like maybe some pop culture icons who might not be here anymore, or people who have just been characters to you?
Oh, definitely. I'd say the first one was Stevie Wonder. I was a kid. My mother was an elementary school teacher, and we were invited to the concert. I was able to go backstage and meet him, and that lit the bug of, I wouldn't say I'm a, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I don't freak in front of celebrities, but that definitely led me to the other side, where it's like, hey, they're just as human as we are. They sit down, they drink, they eat. You know, he was cracking jokes with me, tickling me. So it just kind of broke that wall down where I didn't view them as, oh.
Wow.
But, and another great story I'll tell you, and I've told you before, is probably my encounter with Prince. When he had his residency at the Rio, which was 3121, I was doing the remote broadcast for KLUC, and I was lucky enough to receive some instructions from Prince prior to how he wanted me to talk about the remote broadcast from the Rio on the nights, and very, let's say he's
classic Prince.
Yes, classic Prince. Pretty much told me what he wanted to do, and then with a nod and a smile, said, "You are dismissed."
Signed an NDA and everything.
Everything, man, everything.
It was just like, you
like,
never met me.
Right, it was like, what do I call you?
And what's like one of your favorite interviews that you've done for like the radio, knowing that you've worked for like KLUC, which is still a pretty big station here in like Vegas?
Yeah, definitely one of the heritage stations in Las Vegas has never changed its frequency or call letters since its inception, so I was very proud to be a part of that family. I say the best interview I had on air was with Brian McKnight. And what made it so classic was it was a phone-in interview, and the entire time that I'm interviewing him and promoting his concert and his new record, my man was playing golf. So, you know, the multitasking there was just amazing.
For a minute, I thought he was gonna like he was just singing to you on the phone the whole time.
That would have been a little weird. I'd have had to like slow him down there a little bit. Maybe brought in a female co-host on that one so he could sing to her.
So with you being in entertainment and things, clearly everyone's plans have been canceled, and like we'll just say it like that. You are still in entertainment, and are you hopeful for things turning up now? And like, do you think we'll go back to a normal way of life of just like going to concerts and like seeing people again, or just being around people and just like for the joy of entertainment?
I think eventually it'll come back. I'm holding a lot of hope and a lot of enthusiasm to see how these. I just noticed that Caesars is bringing back Absence. You have MGM bringing back collections of shows from David Copperfield to Jabberwocky. So it's going to be interesting to see how these productions handle. You know, whether they're going to be moved into a new room, dealing with the 250 capacity that we have now. So it's going to be interesting to see how these events run. I'm very interested in looking at how they go off, but I feel that, you know, if everything can stay steady and we can stay safe and stay healthy and people can adhere to rules, then, you know, I don't see entertainment going away. It may shift in different forms. Definitely you're going to be moving away from like a ticket stub. A lot of it's going to be contactless, but no, I'm very optimistic.
I think for like one of my favorite stories you have told me, you know, every time like I hear you talk, I feel like, you know, I feel like a little kid, you know, I'm just in awe, just like listening to you. You told me stories about like how you interviewed Eminem. You told me stories about how you're part of live events where it felt like a once in a lifetime thing. But the one that always stuck in my mind is the one about R. Kelly. What was that like when? Because you worked at Hard Rock, and you were pretty well known around there. You were behind the scenes, and how was that scene about R. Kelly not even showing up?
Man, that was bananas. So literally, we had a show in the joint. R. Kelly was performing, and I want to say like midway in the intermission from his opening act, he put a video on our video screens pretty much telling everyone that he was still on his bus stuck on the 15 trying to get to Las Vegas. So the chaos that ensued after that was a lot of fun, but you know, yeah, he was definitely on some CPT.
And I think to wrap it up, I think one of the most intense stories you've ever told me was about the Great Riot of Hard Rock, which was caught on tape, like TMZ.
Yeah, TMZ, YouTube had it.
Since you know more of the story than I do, because you were a part of it, I'll just like let you explain what happened.
Oh man, so it was Memorial Day weekend. We had Floyd Mayweather fighting Manny Pacquiao, and the Hard Rock, the former Hard Rock, used to host a pool party, Rehab, world famous. And unfortunately, we had oversold it. And everybody wanted to go, and fire marshal shut it down. We were at capacity, so they weren't letting anyone else in, and there were still thousands of people that still wanted to go in. And I mean, you can always go on YouTube and check out the videos from it, but there was a lot of damage caused. You had people jumping over the walls to get into the pool, breaking certain entrance doors in the casino.
Total mayhem.
Yeah, and the joint box office was just chaos. Just people, you know, shaking the gates, trying to get in the doors, demanding their money back, wanting something to happen. That was a long day.
Oh man. I just know being in entertainment has like led you to the right roads, because it's kind of like you just believed in yourself. And being in a studio like this again, it's just like small, but I know wherever you go can take you to wherever your dreams may lead you. Did you want to end off anything with giving off advice to like any of these media majors and people like chasing their dreams and whatnot?
My only advice is stick to it. Network as well as you can, because you never know who that next person you meet is going to be able to open a door for you. Always be gracious, never burn bridges, try to stay in a business frame of mind. It's hard not to take things personal. We are human and we are emotional at times, but you definitely want to stay clear-headed. If you can find a mentor that believes in you and believes in your ideas and what you want to do, definitely gravitate to that person. use them, like sponge off of them as much as possible. And I really believe that relationships are essential in the entertainment business. And follow what you love. As long as you're passionate about it, as long as you love it, as long as, I mean, every day, you know, you're gonna wake up with days where you're not gonna wanna do it, but at the end of the day, once you're done with that shift or whatever you're doing, you're gonna feel 100 times better because it's something that you love.
Well, I gotta thank you for your time, Kevin.
I appreciate it, Alan. Always
It's
good
been
seeing
really
you.
sweet talking to you, and your voice is like butter to me.
Well, I appreciate that. Got a lot of muffin to go.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for your time. Now I'll send it back to Jessica at the desk.
October, also known as Pinktober, marks National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The first ever Stride Ride in Summerlin took place, and Brianna Favre brings us that story.
This past Sunday, the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Las Vegas, presented by Optum Care Cancer Care event, took place. Due to COVID-19, it looked a little different this year. What is normally an annual walk turned into members of the community invited to decorate their cars in pink and drive through the south parking lot of Red Rock Casino Resort to raise awareness about breast cancer. The event was welcomed with an Elvis impersonator and chants from the Vegas Golden Knights. This worldwide event happens every year in October, and you can join by being a sponsor, volunteer, or donating. Reporting for UNLV Studio G, I'm Brianna Faverger.
Money raised from the event goes towards the American Cancer Society to help support research, education, and comprehensive patient support. Now let's send it over to Alan for today's weather.
Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm here with the weather today, and it looks like it's going to be a cool 79 degrees. It's going to be a little warmer later, but we can just tell we can just put on those cool long sleeve shirts again instead of just putting on those light short sleeve shirts. Anyways, it's going to be 82, just in case you wanted to know, if you didn't trust me then. And by tonight, if you decide to at least put on a coat, it's going to be a nice 62. It's going to be a little windy, but it won't be too bad. And it looks like in the valley, it's just going to be a cool 80 around. You know, we'll still see those golden sunshines and bright blue skies. Looks like we're going to have 92 degrees, a little more hotter tomorrow, but we can brace for that as we know. And further down the line, looks like it's going to drop off a little bit. And back to Sunday, we're going to go back to that low 70 weather, and that's going to be fun. Anyways, I'm Alan Barber. I'm going to send it back to Jessica at the desk.
Thank you, Alan, for the weather. It is going to be hot in the mornings, but pretty chilly at night. Still make sure to go cast your vote. I voted, and make sure to hashtag on social media so you can get those followers up. So that's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to tune in on Thursday at noon for more Studio G. And again, election is only 2 weeks away. Be sure to exercise your right and vote, and make your vote heard. I'm Jessica Corona.
And I'm Alan Barber. Thank you for watching.